is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that?
Welcome to the podcast, guys. Special episode. We got her. She's the mum of all mums, Maggie Dent. I love to give her a hug, and I say, Maggie, am I doing okay as a parent? And how would I handle this? And what would I do if this was to happen? Maggie has your answers. Child psychologist, author. She's the ultimate parent and expert. And if you've got a question, Tom, you've had all sorts of issues, nothing to do with your kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just issues in general. Maggie can't help with any of them.
Okay,
I just want to let everybody know that you've still got issues.
Heaps of issues.
We'll focus on those in the next podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Maggie Dent here for all those good parents soon.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Hey, Fitz, I want to talk about this one. Cravings. Can I just ask a quick question? The Aldi snack stand that's arrived in the studio.
Magnificent.
Who puts a snack stand next to the snack man?
Thank you very
It's
much.
just an obvious mistake, Tommy.
Yeah, but a wonderful mistake.
He's the snack man!
No, I've just been smashing grapes covered in yogurt all morning.
We have muesli bars. We do have fruit there as well. So you have
trail
some
mix,
you
nut
have
bar.
some great options. And thank you very much to Audi for putting the snack stand
Snack
there.
stand
But
and the snack man.
To watch him go back and forth every 5 minutes is very entertaining.
Well, this is why I want to talk about what's called urge surfing, Fitz. And they talk about urges, whatever your urge might be, whether you're an overspender or maybe you're a gambler or you eat bad food or whatever it might be. Let's take chocolate, for example. Okay, because everybody did it over Easter and they went, oh, you reckon there's another Easter egg in it? I'll have a go. Urge surfing is the way they describe the urge, and there's some techniques so you can control your urges. So they call it urge surfing because you need to actually picture the urge like a wave. It builds, it builds, it builds. The wave crashes, hits the shore, and then it's gone.
Right.
So you need to be able to surf through the urge. So the first thing they say is recognise the urge, okay? So I'm sitting there, I'm looking at an Easter egg, I can feel the urge. They then say name the urge. Chalky egg urge, right? So I'm still looking at the egg, so the urge is still there, but I've named it, so I've recognised it. Your next thing to do is prepare for the wave. So I'm still looking at it. I've given it a name. Yeah, the chalky egg urge. And I'm going to prepare for it. So I brace myself. Maybe I put my hands out in the chair as I'm staring at a table or a bowl full of eggs. And then you need to let the urge run its course. Let that wave crash. Shut your eyes and picture the urge crashing like a wave and then dissolving into the sand. Get up and move yourself away from the egg.
Well, if we're talking chocolate and urges, you'd have to be the Kelly Slater, wouldn't you?
Oh,
you're
mate.
You're right up there.
7 times world champ. So, Tommy, if I go blank in any of the meetings, I'm urge surfing.
Here we go.
Right? I'm talking myself through an urge.
No worries,
well,
Whip
your nickname around here is Turds, actually, so it's very similar.
I don't want to turd surf. I'm not down at Bondi with a Bondi cigar.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Tell you what, it feels a bit warmer and cozier in the studio. I know I'm comforted because brand new episode, season 2 of Maggie Dent's podcast, The Good Enough Dad, is out now. Episode 1 with Larry Emder. I love that. Maggie Dent, welcome and give us a hug. Give Sydney a hug.
She's just the best. Can I kick this off? I was listening to a podcast the other day. There was a guy, Maggie, by the name, and it's the environment that kids have around at home. And do you know what? We're talking about kids all the time with you, but there's different parenting styles that I've never really thought about before. This guy's called Elaine de Botton is his name. He has a master's in philosophy, and he was talking about environments at home. But have a listen to this.
Children come into the world, and all of us are honed by nature to figure out, what do I need to do here to survive? In some families, you need to excel academically. In some families, you need to fail academically. In some families, you need to be very witty. In some families, you need to be invisible.
Why would you need to fail in some families?
Oh, well, the classic one is parental envy. Some parents are hugely envious of their own children.
What?
And they cannot bear that their child, who they've put on the earth, should be happier than they've managed to be.
This blew me away, Maggie. Have you seen cases of this parental envy?
Oh, look, I have to say that can be a thing. And when I've worked with teenagers over the years, sometimes the pressure from their parents for their academic grades is so, debilitating, because they know if they don't get that the A plus when they go home, they're just, that you're not loved right there. You let everyone down. Parental disappointment it's like a knife in their heart. And yet sometimes parents don't even know where they're doing it. They're thinking, I'm encouraging you and I'm, giving you that motivation and I'm telling you to aim high, but sometimes it doesn't land that way with a kid. And it can be, and another really difficult one is, because we're going to talk about dads, the dad that's into rugby and into sport and into watching wrestling, and then he has a boy who likes music, he can also struggle in that space because he's just not in the, I feel like I let my dad down. And I've actually shared so many stories with boys around that I'm a failure for my dad.
Right.
It's a tough one because, this is the other one, and we've spoken about this so many times, Maggie, about, it's just, my son, he loves football, but he also loves his video games. We talk about video games with you all the time and how much time he actually gets on there. But I actually see the joy in his face, Maggie, when he plays it. And now we had a no video game policy at home. That's completely changed now because I can see the joy that he gets out when he's on there with his mates. It's just a matter of pulling it back. But yet I just said to my wife, we can't deny him this because he loves it so much.
So one of the things we know about boys particularly is they're hunting dopamine, right? They're just hunting that really good neurochemical that makes you feel freaking amazing, right?
Yep.
Well, they don't all of them get it at school because quite often they've got to sit longer than they want to and their stuff's boring and they don't think it's going to be... Trust me, I taught Year 9 boys who really thought writing an essay was a waste of time because they're going to play football for Australia.
Yep.
But what happens when they're video gaming, it's instant shots of dopamine.
Yeah.
Like when they're doing it with their mates, the second thing that teenagers particularly want and boys want is connection with friends. And so you're filling the connection cup, you're filling this competence cup, like, am I getting better and better? And you're filling the fun cup. And so it's not a bad thing at all, but what we got to make sure is they're not doing it all night. And that also... that their language doesn't escalate, because that's one of the things parents say sometimes. They hear this horrible language coming out of their room.
That happens.
And going, that's not my son. But when we pull them back up on that, saying if you want to keep playing, then that sort of language has got to stop. So once again, it's not all harmful, but we've got to make sure we've got boundaries around it.
Can I ask, Maggie, back to the point you made, Fitz, and I think this is one thing as a parent. I'm trying to work out quite often with my kids, where's the line of me being a constructive dad in supporting a child and encouraging them to do something, and then me forcing them past the point where they're not interested. So how do I know when I go from, hey, you're going to play this sport and you're going to do that, to... Do you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe that kid doesn't want to do that sport. Yeah. Where do you stop?
Oh, look, that's one of the biggest parenting dilemmas, isn't it? That we, and I keep on saying to parents, when your kid comes home and wants to sign up for, soccer or netball because all their friends are, and then week 3, they don't want to go again.
Yeah.
Then
Right.
you've
A
just
message
paid
from
all
a
the
cupboard
fees.
in my house with taekwondo uniforms, full soccer kit, everything. Straight onto Facebook Marketplace.
Taekwondo.
Same sort of thing. Like, we do want to encourage them to stretch and grow. And sometimes they want to go because their friends are doing it, but we really do need to know that sometimes too much, and I think we're over-scheduling today's children.
Right.
No question, we've got far too much on, and then they're exhausted and tired, and then we wonder why they get grumpy.
That is really interesting. 13 24 10. Maggie Dent is in the studio. If you've got any questions that you want to ask, she's good, you know what the topic is, get involved and give us a call.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Maggie Dent is here in the studio with us, and the podcast, The Good Enough Dad. I love this, Maggie, because you do talk to all sorts of different dads, and one of the great parts of this podcast is when you ask about fails.
Oh, man.
Dad fails.
So beautiful, because we wanted to normalise that there's no perfect in parenting and stuff.
No.
But dads can often take these things really, really personally. like I've mucked up, and then they want to, they really want to beat themselves up, because you've got to look at the boys' and men's worth often comes from what I do good, and I give myself self-worth. So when I've mucked up, I feel really, really bad.
Can you share the Guy Sebastian one? Because this is a beauty.
Yeah, I just kind of had Guy up there as, this amazing human, and he just opened up so beautifully. When I asked for the dad file, he burst out laughing, said, "I've got a really good one, Maggie. It probably is the best of 2 seasons."
Okay.
So we know he's got a place down in Giroa, which is not far from me, and he's got a tinny down there, so quite often they go out and get some squid.
Yep. Yeah.
Easter weekend, picture it, and Archie, his youngest son's at the front of the boat, and he said, going out, and there's people everywhere, of course, and he said, and as I went to jump in, I've actually knocked the tiller on the boat, and I've ended in the water, and the boat's taken off doing loops, right? Oh. And of course his son's screaming out, "Dad, Dad, Dad," and he's saying, don't jump, because he's worried about the propeller, and each time the boat came round he had to duck so he didn't get his bits cut off. And then he says, eventually I've worked out which way it's going. I've got Archie to jump off, got him to shore, and then I'm out there trying to, all these attempts to get it, and eventually gets in the boat and quietly brings it back. And I just thought, he said his son keeps saying, "No, Dad, don't want to go get this squid." I'm scarred for life on that. But don't you think it's just a beautiful, honest, accidental moment that you thought was going to be a treasured memory that went absolutely...
What a great image that
up.
paints.
But often the fails are the treasured memories.
Aren't
Like
they?
just hearing you speak there, I'm like, oh God, I remember my dad took it upon himself to treat me to a haircut. And what ensued just has gone down in family folklore. I went into the salon as an average 10-year-old, and I came out looking like the Queen on a coin.
Oh my God. You're kidding
I
me.
had this like a Play-Doh old lady hairdo,
Wow.
and I'm sure that he beat himself up over that. But that's become one of our greatest hysterical memories together.
Yeah, I have a pretty big one that only farm kids would have. So when a sheep's fly blowing, you use these clippers to cut it off, and then you spray them with stuff that kills all the maggots and everything. And I'm holding the sheep for Dad, right, with my wellies on. And as he's cutting, all these maggots are going into my boot. And I'm sitting there thinking, right, in a moment I've got to walk. And it was one of those moments, what would my dad want me to do? And I've just thought, I can do this. And just walked off and just squashed all the maggots in my boots.
Maggots.
But I thought, and I told my dad later, and he just gave me a big wink, like,
Good on you,
that's
Dal.
my girl. That's my girl.
Why have you not had the nickname Maggot Dent ever since?
I did. And I also wrote a poem once called Maggots. And the new teacher nearly fainted because she was a city girl and she really didn't get the quite...
Maggots in my boots by Maggie Dent.
Can you remember any of the stanzas from Maggots?
No,
by
I can't.
Maggie?
But it was very vivid.
That is so
Very
good.
vivid.
Alison from McGrath Hill. Hello, Alison.
Hi guys, how are you? Hi Maggie.
Hi.
You're live with Maggie. What is your question?
My question is, it's probably a little bit of a long-winded one, but my daughter seems to second-guess herself in tasks that she's more than capable of doing. So, for example, we do little athletics. She's a good runner. Did really well last season. It was her first season. And so when it comes to the long distance, straight away she's like, I can't do it. She starts getting a stitch, all that sort of stuff. We do the positive reinforcement, and it's the same with, like, her academics, like, particularly maths. She starts sort of stressing out and sort of getting upset with herself before she's even attempted.
What do you do, Maggie?
Now,
It's really, really common, remember? Really, really common. So one of the things I'm going to say might sound a bit woo-woo and a bit weird, but what I want you to do, because I've worked in this space for years as a counsellor, is I want her, the last thing she does at night and the first thing is in the morning, she's going to visualise herself nailing it. Like getting those test results, she's going to see herself running like the wind. The more times that she does that vividly, the brain thinks she's already done it, so it tends to move the doubt and the self-doubt away. And there's a visualisation on my website called Accepting Myself, which is a neuro-linguistic programming technique where they see a big white screen and they watch themselves confident. Because they run a video in their head and we need to turn that video off. Yeah. And the sooner we turn it off. So I used it with all my classrooms when I was still teaching. And oh my gosh, you should have seen the difference in the grade. So
I love that.
There you go. You can't talk them out of a mindset or a belief or a pattern, but we've got to change the video in the mind.
And I think that comes from, because I've got 3 kids as well, ranging from 16 to 12, and I have seen that exact thing happening. Oh, I can't do it. And I think there's so much pressure to be the best at everything. And I just say to my kids that really it is about the journey. It's about having a crack.
It's excitement
you don't have
about
to be
effort.
the best. I don't expect you to be the best. I'm not the best at anything. Nobody I know's the best at anything. But gosh, it's fun to have a go.
Celebrate effort. Always
Yeah.
celebrate effort.
You have
And get
to.
up and have a go, even if you've got no chance of winning. They're the messages that
Just
really
quickly, Maggie, girls and boys difference? At what age should they
You
start?
asking me though.
No. But what mental resilience? At what age do they start getting a bit of mental resilience and they start pushing back?
Look, they can develop that at any point in their whole life journey, because what resilience really is that I can come across things that challenge me or that are adversity or difficulty, and I have an ability to push through because I've experienced it.
Yes.
This is one of the reasons I keep saying your kids are supposed to fall out of trees. They're supposed to fall over. They're supposed not to get one prize and pass the parcel, because we're wanting them to get used to moments that are difficult so that we can go through it. So the more times they deal with those, the sooner that happens, regardless of gender.
Gotcha.
And that's a really important message for us, not to keep rescuing our kids.
It's so true. Mel in Blackson, your question for Maggie Dent.
Hi, I have a question regarding taking my children to the shops. I have a 3-year-old who always ends up wanting a lolly, and if I say no, he then has a complete meltdown. My question is, do I just cave in and just buy one each time? Do I deal with it there at the shops and talk to him about it, or do I just take him home and have that discussion with him later?
All right. So, of course, he wants a lolly. Who doesn't? I'd still like one too if I went and I'm 70. What I've got to suggest to you is that before you get out the car, you're gonna have a little chat to him and say, when we there's only these days of the week, and of course he's not going to know those days, is he? But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, if we've not been really awful to my mum and drawn lipstick on the wall and things, there will be a lolly treat when I go shopping, right? And then you pull up in the car park and you go, what day is it? Today is this day. So it is a treat day. Today is Tuesday, no treat day. So we okay with that? Not today. But if we have a tantrum about today, then there won't be one tomorrow. And it might sound really, but they learn. Okay, so you're not banning forever, because if you're banned forever, I'm going to get upset too, because I like my chocolate. But so we're actually setting him up to now know to be able to predict what are the days that he can look forward to going to you. Plus the other thing is, leave him with someone else we go shopping.
That's exactly what I did.
Yep.
My kids
makes
haven't been to the
sense.
supermarket for years.
Oh, Scott in Schofield, your question for Maggie Dent.
Hey, Maggie, how you going?
Good.
My question is, my 9-year-old boy, he's quite nervous and shy, even like around strangers, but even with people that we know. We'll be out at sporting events and things like that, and people will talk to him, but he avoids eye contact. And I just want to know what's the best way to support him, or how do I get him out of his shell?
Oh, well, it sounds like he's a lamb. So lambs are less brave. They've turned up less brave, less fearless. But I'm going to give you a couple of things that really can help in that space. Is you practice at home. So you role play situations with him, like he's a stranger, put on some weirdo face mask or something and say, so mate, how you going? Hello. You actually practice the things. It's a bit like what I said before about the video in the head. To build his confidence, you practice like heck. So you can, everyone in the house can play. And bottom line, he becomes an adult sometimes and you're the child, and you can mimic how he might be a bit reluctant. But we also, so there's another strategy I used with a lot of shy children early on, and they had to pick out some undies that were their brave undies.
Awesome.
So bright red, bright yellow, whatever. And so there were days when they were going to be going out that potentially they might meet people they're not so sure at. They had to wear their brave undies or their fun undies, whatever you want to call it, because it sort of makes them feel a little braver on the inside. Yeah. And it's a bit of fun. But what I do want to say is don't ever force him, because when we force a child who's a little bit shy and anxious, we set them up for a whole lifetime full of dread.
Yeah,
so we've got to make sure we allow them to be, stay with me until you're safe. It's quite often in Circle of Security. It's a brilliant parenting program. Our kids want to stay close to the safest person and venture a little bit and then come back. And then you're gradually helping him go a little bit further each time so that, he will gradually develop that capacity later.
And Maggie, would you agree with me here? Because I've got a couple of shy kids, and and I'm not shy.
Oh, really?
As you can tell. And I sort of realised early on when I got this shy child out of nowhere that me trying to encourage them, I feel like I was coming from a good place, because interacting with human beings is the greatest joy in my life, and I wanted them to have that too. When I realised that me talking about it kind of got lost in translation.
Yeah.
I was saying, this is a great way to be, try this, try that. But what they're hearing is, you're not good enough the way you are.
You're actually failing as you are. You're dead right,
Yeah.
Fitzy. I know.
Yeah.
Best intentions in the world. Welcome to the tricky part of parenting.
Yeah. So now I just say, you're either a shy person or you're going through a shy phase. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
And it's perfectly normal.
Celebrate those ones. Celebrate the lambs and the roosters.
Yeah. Let's take one more call. Leah in Harrington Park. Your question for Maggie Dent, Leah?
Oh, good morning, Maggie. Thanks. I just wanted to know, I've got a 15-year-old son, and I've been a fan of yours for, since he was conceived, to be honest. It was my first gift given. He's not a fan of showering, teeth, hygiene.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this is really, really common. Now, the weirdest thing about our tween and teen boys is they actually don't realise they smell.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm in a classroom full of them, right, and I'm nearly passing out, and not one of them notices that there's this body odour in the room. They don't smell it. So they want to say, look, why should I bother? Because A, I don't smell and there's no skid on my jocks. Like, what's the point of saving water? Okay, so I don't know if you can try this, but I did it with my 4-year-old son because he was decided he didn't want to shower and bath anymore. So I tried the incentivising, of course, and it's not going to work with a 15-year-old boy. But what I said to him at one point, I sat with him and said, mate, Mummy doesn't have a penis. But, if I didn't wash it, I reckon it'd go mouldy and fall off. He was in the shower like a flash. So at the end of the day, I'd probably come with, that sort of thing that if you don't look after your penis,
it'll fall off.
It could get a bit rotten.
He's 32 now and still thinks there's something.
The more you nag, the less he's going to shower.
Tommy, it's worked for you, hasn't it, mate?
Yeah, slowly but surely. Thank you, Maggie.
Maggie,
You don't have to wash it now, Tom.
I've got a 16-year-old. Is there a nice way to say you're a bit on the nose? Because it's an insulting thing. If anybody said to me, you stink, I'd be so offended.
All right, so let me give you the tip. It's such a crazy thing because, of course, I had housefuls of boys. They all brought their mates and ate me out of house and home. But you know what? The mother of one of your son's mates is the person who drops the truth bomb. Because while they were in my house, there was a boy, oh my God, and I said, mate, I'm going to take you home soon. I can't have that. Oof, really off. Awesome. Do you want to go up and put some anti-BO on? And he went, yeah, no worries. Well, his mum's been trying to nag the hell out of him because he really likes coming to my house. I'm not his mother.
Yeah.
And he knows I like him. Yes. He goes up, but you know what? He did that. But when I came back later, he'd sprayed the whole mirror with the deodorant all over the mirror because he thought that was funny too.
Oh.
Okay.
He's
not welcome in your home anymore.
No,
I love him. He was. He definitely was.
Oh, Maggie Dent, that is sensational. Thank you for helping us.
Her brand new podcast, The Good Enough Dad, it's out now. Like you said, Larry Emder's the first episode. You got Guy Sebastian, Cameron Daddo. We love Cameron Daddo. Yeah. You've also got war veterans, 2 professional surfers. The podcast is out now.
Oh, you have to hear about the bit about surfers. My boys were going to sack me as their mother because they're all surfers.
Oh.
Because I didn't have any surfers or AFL footballers.
Awesome.
No, they just go cutting me out. They're going to cut me right out. So I've nailed it. I'm allowed to stay their mother because I've got them.
That's great.
We love you, Maggie. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks, Maggie Dent.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast. Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie's Mother's Day lunch. Make her Mother's Day with a personalised card from Moonpig. Create your masterpiece at moonpig.com.
Hey, this is going to be really special, Fitz. Moonpig have come on board and said, we want to help you celebrate mums for Mother's Day. And we want you to be at our very own lunch. It's a Mother's Day lunch, and we want you to celebrate your mum.
It's next Friday. So Mother's Day's next Sunday.
That's right.
Comes around very quickly, and we need to celebrate the most important people in our life, our mums. Moonpig's awesome, mate. These customised cards, personalised cards that you can get from Moonpig. So you create your own masterpiece, you put in a couple of photos, videos, message, and then they send it out to you. You go to moonpig.com to do that. But they've jumped on board and said, why don't you guys throw A Mother's Day lunch for all the best mums around Sydney.
It's a great idea, isn't it? They also do personalised mugs, cookie candles, cookies and candles. So I could get a candle from Moonpig that smells like Tom Ivy.
Cookie candles?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a mother. I don't know why you would get me that
Well, what
gift.
about a mug for my mum with your face on it, Tom, or just a picture of your bum on it? Will they print that at Moonpig?
No.
Who's your Moonpig for you?
Absolute Moonpig.
Rude boy. So this is what you need to do. You need to write a special letter for your mum, or whoever mum is to you, and you can win a seat at the Mother's Day lunch with yourself and your mother. You need to register via the Nova Player app or online at Nova FM, and we could be calling you back next week. We'll read out a little bit of you. I mean, it only has to be a paragraph or whatever. It doesn't have to be much.
It's a tribute. You said you'd have a crack at it overnight, mate. Have you written something?
Yeah, I have.
About Claire Fizzle?
This took a while, because you want to make sure it's right.
Yeah, you do.
I feel like I need Mum in front of me. Can we get Mum on next week and I can read it back to her, Tommy?
Absolutely.
Oh, right. With a
Well, there's a Moonpig right now. He's had a couple of cookies.
I had the All Brand from the Aldi snack stand in here, and I've had it mid talk break.
Yeah, you got into it, haven't you, mate?
All right, do you want me to read mine out? Dear Mum, the country girl from Riverland, raised on strong morals and values, you are the most beautiful example of love, patience and strength a young half-cutter could ever ask for.
Hang on.
Honesty, kindness, hard work and the importance of family have shaped the way I live and I love. You didn't just tell me what was right, you showed me every single day, Mum. As I've matured, only in the last bloody couple of years, I've appreciated your resilience during tough times and the way that you always made sure everyone felt included and cared for, constantly putting smiles on our faces in even the most difficult of times. It's something that I'll never forget and will be forever grateful. Claire Janine Schwartz Fitzgerald, ich liebe dich, love you, Mum.
Sorry, mate?
Oh, that's
some German
That's
there
German
from the
for I love you, yes.
Right.
She used to say that to me every night she would put me to bed, ich liebe dich.
She then said it to Mick.
Do you know what? That was a beautiful moment that you've brought down. You rude pig.
Rude Moonpig. You rude Moonpig, you. That was beautiful, mate. Tommy, would I pen something to Christine?
No, don't bother.
Should I write a letter to Christine?
Yeah. Well, I'm just texting her at the moment if you want to send something through.
All right. More chances you need to register. Don't you make fun about my mother?
That's funny. I just did the same thing too, Fizzy. God, poor thing's bombarded.
Very early for Christine to get those sort of messages.
If she could just return my trackings at some stage.
Register the Nova Player on Nova FM. We could be calling you back next week. You could be joining us at the Mother's Day lunch where Fitzy will get his pants back.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Let's talk about a brand new TV show, Ryan James. It's coming to Binge. It's called $1 Billion Playground. Have a listen to this.
Rich people want all kinds of things. If my guest wants lobster for breakfast, they get it. They want a Lamborghini? No problem, sir. You can never tell these people no.
Some caviar, 3 water, 5 unicorns.
I like crinkles.
This team, we're like swans, gliding beautifully on the top.
And champagne, when's it coming?
Paddling like crazy up here.
It is high pressure. You're all a joke, the lot of you.
Here's the catchphrase. If it's legal, make it happen.
What?
Yeah, the luxury accommodation company Luxico. They rent out unbelievably beautiful high-end houses, and these people need to make their customers feel like the most important person in the world, Ryan James.
Wow. Oh, do you know what? I got a phone call for this, Whip.
What, they wanted to use your house?
No. Do you know the Live Golf tournament? So these golfers are worth an absolute fortune, and there's a company, right? And what they do, they hire amazing houses, and then they have these parties in the houses, and the golfers, after playing golf all day, go back there. They have a few hors d'oeuvres, they have a couple of champagnes, and they have the sponsors there. So there are companies out there that actually do this.
Right, so they were looking for houses.
Well, yeah, they said, do you know anyone that's got a house?
Can I tell you about a really weird phone call I got not long ago? I'm sitting at home. Phone rings. I look at the phone. It says Dickie Wilkins. And I go, here we go.
Which phone was it? His second or third phone?
I think it was his fifth.
Right.
And he was in his second pool at the time, the afternoon pool, that he doesn't have the permit for. Anyway, I answer the phone, and he goes, hey, mate, can we talk? And I said, yeah, what's going on, Dickie? He said, I'm here with someone and I can't tell you who I'm here with. And I went, okay.
A classic line.
I love these games.
Yeah.
So he goes, is there any chance that a well-known celebrity could possibly look to rent out your house a little bit later on in the year? And I went, all right, well, just tell me who you're talking about to start with.
Yeah, you got to know.
And he goes, let's just say there's more than one dick calling right now. I'm here with Richard Marx. It's the two dicks.
That's a hazard in itself, isn't it? I mean, he wrote the song. Marxy. We saw him at the Wolf Award. Do you know what would have happened, though, as well? Dickie would have moved in. With
Richard Marx?
Yeah, without a doubt. He would have gone, oh, well, while you're there, Richard, I'll just move in with you and use one of Wippa's rooms as well.
If that's okay. I mean, Richard, just remember the catchphrase, though. If it's legal, make it happen. We'll see you on Binge's brand new show, $1 Billion Playground.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast. Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie's Origin Upgrade. Footy's greatest rivalry is back. Women's State of Origin starts tonight. Exclusive, live and free on 9 and 9 Now. Your home of free footy.
And so it begins. Oh, man, what a journey this will be. Kicks off tonight. Cannot wait to watch this on Channel 9. And one man who has represented this state so many times and brought it home for us is the magnificent Freddy Fitler. Freddie, welcome!
Freddie!
Fitzy, Wippa, is Kate there?
No, not at the moment, buddy.
No, she's not here at the moment. Yeah, no, but...
is Kate there?
No, not at the moment, buddy.
No, she's not here at the moment. Yeah, no, but Freddie, actually, do you know what I did the other day, just to support you and Andrew Johns, is that I walked off the show with 21 minutes to go. This is what, Whip, if you don't know, Andrew Johns walked off the broadcast the other day because he's so disgusted with the sin bins that are happening in the NRL at the moment. Are you at that point as well, Freddie? Will you walk off?
No, I won't walk off, but it was interesting watching Andrew in the corner having a little sulk. It was hilarious.
Couldn't control himself.
Just couldn't, yeah. Well, he could actually. He just sat there, dropped the mic, and he didn't look at anyone and didn't speak for 25 minutes. So.
I still got paid.
I just added a little bit straight to the invoice because just the extra work I had to do.
Did the heavy lifting again, Freddie?
Yeah.
It is ridiculous, Freddie. Are you really worried about the game and where it's going?
Well, I think there's a lot going on. I think in all sports, especially contact sports, I think everyone's nervous about concussions and, the consequences of them. So I feel like they're trying to be proactive, and they have been. But every now and then they just go a bit far, I think. I don't know whether it's people not understanding the game and how accidents can happen and the way they defend now. And you just got to be, you got to be careful. You got to understand the players, and you got to be sympathetic towards them, because there's a situation, the Sorensen one, where he's standing there and the bloke's running full pelt at him.
Yeah.
So you got a decision: you either move out of the road and you lose your job, or you hold your ground, and that's what he did. And he's got 2 weeks for it. So they've come out and said that they have got it wrong. They went too far. So they're really under the spotlight this week at Magic Round, because every game is in the one spot. But they're going about other ways of changing it, like with bunker and having more consistent people in the bunker from a point of view of left, and trying to find the best. So they definitely realise they've made an error and they're moving on.
Freddie, where are you at the moment, mate? Morning walk, or you just done your yoga class, or...?
Laying some grass, brother.
You're laying some grass? Is that code for something, Freddie?
It used to be Wippa, but not anymore. Those days are really over.
Those days are gone. You putting a bit of tiff-tuff in, mate, or what are you doing?
It's a bit of buffalo.
Right, very durable.
Right.
Yeah.
Do the kids help you out? Do they mow the lawns every now and then, Fred, or nah? Damn it.
Mate, lazy. Let's just stress that whole generation. It's a lazy generation.
If we get one thing out of this footy chat, it's that Freddie thinks it's a lazy generation coming through.
Freddie, every day this week, thanks to your company, 9 and 9 Now, we've been giving away a 55-inch 4K smart TV and $200 cash.
Really?
And Freddie, say hello to Leah in Harrington, because she's won herself a new television.
Hi, Leah.
Freddie. Good morning. Good morning, guys.
Leah, this is great news.
Oh, wow. I can't believe it. Thank you.
Hey, Freddie, Leah joined the show earlier. She told us about her son who won't shower. Have you had that issue with the kids, Freddie?
No.
Okay.
No. Very hygienic. But I've actually had cold showers for about 18 years now.
Oh,
so
you have, haven't
tell
you?
him to try the cold ones. Tell him to go the cold.
Yeah.
Actually,
similar, Leah, to just squirting him with the hose if he won't get in the shower.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We throw him in the pool.
Good.
Leah, can you just
That's a
tell
real
Freddie
problem, isn't it?
about your best friend? Tell Freddie about your best friend.
Fred, I've got a friend, Michelle, and she's just had a major crush on you for her whole entire life.
Wow.
And had she ever pass out, you're the one.
Oh, my God.
Oh, still got
Drop
it.
into my DMs.
Does she like laying
By the
lawn?
way, I don't have Instagram, so yeah.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame.
Well,
Damn.
and
Anyway, thank you so much.
Stranger things have happened, and you've got a TV and $100 or $200, Leah. How good is
I
that?
liked it when you got it wrong earlier in the week. With was it 200,000?
Yeah, I think I said 200,000. It was just $200. Leah, TV is all yours. Well done. Thanks for playing along. Freddie, you're a superstar.
Thank you.
Good on you,
No
buddy.
worries.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah. Oh,
You got a Stevie update, do you, matey?
What a
the
talent.
funk. Get the funk out of here.
He's good, isn't he?
Oh.
You've seen that footage. I don't know if I don't want to steal anyone's thunder here, but that footage where he catches the microphone stand, Swanee?
Yes, I have. And there
With
was a
Paul
big
McCartney. That was
conspiracy
with
he
Paul
wasn't really
McCartney.
blind.
It was Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney knocks a mic stand and Stevie Wonder
catches it.
Tell
the live story, Fitz.
Okay, I've got some more here. So this is the reason why we're doing the break.
I love these stories.
There's a compilation. There's 5 different mates of his who have told stories. The first one is Snoop. So someone's put them into a compilation.
Awesome.
Snoop Dogg is first up. Let's have a listen to Snoop.
On everything I love, Stevie Wonder does FaceTime me. I can't make this up. I went boop, and he was like, I've been looking for you.
So,
awesome.
This is actor Ving Rhames, who's good mates with Stevie Wonder. Have a listen to this.
It was 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Why did this guy beat all 3 of us, whipped our ass in air hockey? I said, I don't care what you say, because you can see.
Right, yeah. He beat them in air hockey. This is Shaquille O'Neal.
We lived in a building on Wilshire. Door opens. It's Stevie Wonder. He comes in, says, "What's up, Shaq?" Presses the button. Hold on, true story. Presses the button, gets up on the floor, buys up, goes to his room.
It's unbelievable. This is Lionel Richie.
Can he see?
Not at all.
This is Lionel Richie.
I go over to his house, and he says, I got a record I want you to hear. So he pulls the cassette, and he says, come go with me in the car. And he goes on the driver's side. He said, get it on the passenger side. I get on the passenger side. He cranks the car up. He puts it in reverse and starts down the driveway. I said, Stevie! What? He goes, I got you.
That is Lionel Richie. And then this is a comedian called Anthony Anderson. Have a listen to this.
Stevie flew me to Tobago one time for a jazz festival that he was producing. I'm on stage with Chris Tucker and Johnny Gill. Chris Tucker and I are Johnny Gill's background dancers. Stevie walks on stage, walks to me, looks me dead in my eye and says, Anthony, get me to a piano. I was like, Stevie, well, hell, if you just walked to me, you could have walked to the piano. He caught himself.
He caught himself.
Well,
Oh my God!
Someone tried to suggest Andre Bocelli was the same the other day, that he wasn't actually blind, and then we saw a photo of Andre Bocelli on a horse. A blind guy doesn't get on a horse, does he?
In all the comments to this compilation, a lot of people are saying that he's legally blind, so he can see shapes and stuff. I mean, with Shaquille O'Neal, you could understand, because you'd see how big that man is and you'd know who it is. But
And
with
maybe
everyone else...
if one sense has gone,
Yes.
you know, your others are heightened. Maybe Shaquille has an amazing smell that
could be.
You know, Stevie, right? I know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
But there is something going on here. That is a massive conspiracy, and I'm here for it.
It's a great thing to have in your back pocket, though, knowing who's around, and then you can freak them out
What a
by
great
saying,
game.
what are you doing here?
Love that.
Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.